When you are on the go, you need your credit union to be right there with you. Hughes Federal Credit Union makes your life easier. For 65 years, Hughes has called Southern Arizona home and has given back to our community. Isn't that who you want as your financial partner?
Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley. Here with Greg Hansen. Greg, we've had a little bit of time to digest what happened to the Arizona Wildcats in the Sweet 16 loss to Xavier. I thought this was going to be their year to at least get to Phoenix, and I thought that we learned kind of right away that this team maybe was not who we thought they were in March. Your observations from your courtside seat as to what happened in the NCAA tournament.
I think if the NCAA tournament started again today, 4 new teams would get to the Final Four.
Okay.
I think that almost every year. One thing that stuck out to me about Xavier was they won a Sweet 16 game with the most losses in history of the tournament.
Wow. In
the Sweet 16. So that kind of brands the season as a shortfall to me.
Absolutely. And this was a team that on paper, I think Arizona was as talented as anybody, certainly in the West. I think right there with Gonzaga for the best team in the West. To have it fall short, and the way it fell short, I mean, this wasn't losing a shootout in double overtime and both teams collapsed to the floor exhausted.
Yeah.
This was falling apart in the last 5 minutes of a game you should have won.
Yeah. You know, and what's so ironic to me about it is if Alonzo Trier's three-pointer goes in, and it almost did, no one even remembers Xavier was in that game.
Nope.
You just move on. The finality of the tournament is just smacks you in the face, doesn't it?
If Jamel Horn's shot goes in 2011, 2012, there's a statue of Jamel Horn in front of McHale Center, though. And he misses, and now they go Jamel who?
To me, this whole thing, though, losing to Xavier and the way they lost to him, just adds to the whole, whatever you want to call it about Arizona basketball.
It's Shakespearean.
Yeah. I mean, every year is a new chapter, and you go, wow, I didn't expect that.
No. I mean, Sean Miller, this sounds bad. Sean Miller woke up the day after the NCAA tournament. You know how me and you do when we go to Las Vegas and you open one eye, you go, what happened? Sean Miller had to wake up the next morning and go, oh no, to Xavier. I mean, you know that stung and that hurt him.
Oh,
in part,
more than anyone.
More than anyone. And his staff all came from Xavier. And to lose, I'm sure he was happy for Chris Mack, his friend, if there was any silver lining there.
Yeah.
But to lose the way you do to a team that you probably know you're better than on paper, that must be a really tough thing to live with.
My question to U of A fans would be, would you feel any better if Arizona had beat Xavier and then lost to Gonzaga?
Yes, because at least you're losing to the one team in your bracket ranked higher than you, seated higher than you.
But still, I kind of disagree a little. Okay. I kind of think U of A fans didn't give Gonzaga total respect. And the losing to Gonzaga one step from the Final Four makes it even worse. Gonzaga
was leading North Carolina with 2 minutes left in Monday's NCAA tournament championship game, and my Twitter feed was still full of Arizona fans talking about what a fraud Gonzaga was. And you're sitting there, you're like, they're beating North Carolina in the national championship game. Now they lost that game, but this is the year Gonzaga proved that they belonged. They are no longer a mid-major. They are mentioned. They should be mentioned in the same breath as Arizona and UCLA. I think.
You know, to me, the Final Four in NCAA basketball is so mysterious that I could see Gonzaga never again getting to the Final Four.
Right.
Ever.
Right. Well, that's appropriate at Arizona, too. I mean, if we're lining up the greatest teams in the history of Arizona basketball, the 1997 team that won it all was what, 12th? 15th? I mean, on paper, they should not have won the whole thing, and they did. And Arizona's had plenty of teams that on paper should have won the whole thing or at least gotten to the Final Four and didn't.
Earlier this month, I was figuring out where this Arizona team probably ranks, in my opinion, in U of A history. I thought maybe 12th or 13th.
That's incredible. And they're going to have two players that are going to be first-round picks.
Yeah. So every year it's just so entertaining.
It's easy to look back, Greg, and we'll wrap with this. It is so easy to look back and go, oh, we should have seen this coming. Was there anything about that St. Mary's game that led you, in retrospect, to believe, oh, yeah, they're going to lose at some point?
You know, not really, because I'd seen Arizona from the College of Charleston to South Alabama, all their escapes. You just move on and forget it.
Right.
So I didn't really dwell on St. Mary's, but now in retrospect, you go, oh, yeah, there were some problems.
Well, to me, you look at St. Mary's, beat them badly in the first half, I thought. St. Mary's not a very athletic team, but a very precise team. Then you play Xavier in the next week, which is just as precise, but about 40% more athletic. I figured it'd be a matchup problem, but I still thought Arizona would win. I thought Arizona would win the game with 45 seconds left in that game.
But you walk away from the season, and to me, the one thing that sticks out, nothing about Alonzo Trier, but Lauri Markkanen not getting the ball in the last 11 minutes.
Yes, not taking a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will look back one day, when this guy is a top 10 player in the NBA, we will look back and go, oh yeah, he played here. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. For Greg Hansen, isn't this why we love sports, though? Like, you can't script this.
U of A basketball is like a book you can't put down.
Right.
Every year.
It's fantastic, and it's only 6 more months until they start playing games again. I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.